A home invasion occurred in Season 6, Episode 11 of FBI, Most Wanted. The suspect tortured and murdered a married couple at their house. He kidnapped their teenage foster daughter and was on the run. Nobody heard or saw anything. Ned and Joyce Beeford's remains were discovered by two other foster children. They were attending a sleepover. They returned and discovered a crime scene. They called the cops, who notified the FBI. The FBI is called in to find kidnapped children, especially if Brianna Moten was transported over state borders. Brianne was the priority. There were many individuals hoping that the murders were unrelated to the missing girl. Brianne has run away before. She also has a new boyfriend in the photo. The cops and even her mother hoped she simply went away that night. It wouldn't explain the dead bodies, but it was much more preferable than a teen girl being snatched by a stranger. The feds investigated Brianne. She wasn't with her guy anymore. She learned that he had cheated on her. She told her brother about it, and he threatened the ex. He told him to keep away from Brianna. He did. He also assisted those looking for her, as the feds were unaware of the brother's existence. They knew about the mother. They knew about the foster brothers. They didn't know about her brother, and Brianne's ex-boyfriend described it as a complicated family tree. They went back to Brianne's mother. She was doing great. She was in Alcoholics Anonymous. She eventually saved enough to escape the halfway home. She was doing everything she could to prove she deserved custody of her kid again, and it didn't make sense that her mother wouldn't bring up this guy. And that's when they realized the suspect wasn't Brianne's true brother. The EMTs discovered burn marks on the two boys who resided there. The Bedfords were only concerned about the bill. They did not love children or wish the best for them. They did not let Brianne pursue skating because they were concerned about missing out on the check if she traveled. They were terrible individuals. It's no wonder Jake saved Brianne from there. Jake and Brianne were very close when they lived in the same group home. Their case manager believed they were too close. She divided them up as soon as she could, regardless of the consequences, which is why Jake broke into her house. He wanted her automobile. He wanted money. Brianne intervened just before he was ready to kill his former caseworker and her husband. She did not want to harm anyone. Brianne attempted to be the voice of reason, but occasionally she couldn't stop Jake from lashing out. Jake has a nasty temper. His parents committed suicide or were murdered. He was put into foster care. He routinely got into fights before meeting Brianne. She was a calming effect for him. They were also not a couple. They saw each other as brothers and sisters. Jake needed someone like Brianne in his life because no one was watching out for these children. He never received therapy. When he aged out of foster care, he was not even provided with transitional housing. His case manager was a terrible person, and she took away the only person who made him happy. There were many people who failed these children in the system. Only Jake wasn't a child anymore. He had to quit hurting others. He broke into a skating rink so Brianne could skate, and they were discovered by a security guard. Jake killed the man to prevent him from calling the cops. He will always use violence to deal with his problems. The feds were on the verge of apprehending the twins when they managed to flee. They were again on the run. Ray couldn't stay and help. His father had a nasty fall. Ray's father has been assisting them with house improvement projects. He's been struggling with his balance lately. He knew better than to go up a ladder, but he did nonetheless. He tumbled from the ladder. He hit his head. Ray went home to keep an eye on him. He did not want his father to perish from a concussion. While he was gone, the feds discovered why the siblings remained nearby. They were searching for their third sibling. Her name is Sydney. She's 12. Jake and Brianne did not want to leave without her. They believed they were rescuing her from a dreadful circumstance. They were wrong. Sydney was a white child. Those youngsters are simpler to place, and Sydney ended up in an excellent home. She adores her new parents. They were planning to adopt her. She had finally discovered a place where she belonged. She didn't want to give that up to travel to Canada. She wanted to remain where she was. She irritated Brianne with this, but both Brianne and Jake may have jeopardized her chances with a good family. They broke into her new home. They held her foster parents captive. They were holding everyone at gunpoint when the feds discovered them. The feds entered the residence. They divided up. It was just Hannah's luck to run across Jake. He held a gun to her head. Remy realized something was awry when Hannah did not respond to communications. Remy went searching for Hannah. He discovered her alongside Jake's and Sydney's foster parents. Both agents tried to talk Jake down. He finally gave up when he learned that his sisters were with the other agents. He gave up his rifle. He also said that it was all him. He claimed he kidnapped Brianne and compelled her to comply with his objective. Brianne will not face charges. She was planning to live with her skating coach while her mother got her act together. Sydney's foster parents still want her. Jake's sisters were going to be protected and cherished. Ray's father likewise suffers from a disorder known as widowmaker. His heart may have failed at any time, and it was fortunate that it was detected before the heart attack. He can now cure it by surgery. Thank you for watching.